What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry? I'll go first. A few years ago, I was serving this guy. He was old and wasted. Kept ordering shots of Class Azul, which is like a $250 shot of tequila. Whole time he's being like gross to me, but I'm like, whatever, this guy's like sad. Bill comes out to like $2,000, and the average guest check at this place was like $90. So at the end, he wants the bill. I bring the machine over, and when I bring the machine over, he puts his hand on my ass and just rests it there. And then he goes, "How much should I tip you?" Like, I don't know if he thought he was flirting, but I immediately understood that I had all the power in this situation because he was assaulting me. So I said, "I'll put the tip in for you." I gave myself a 100% tip while he rested his hand on my ass. For all you mathletes, 100% of 2,000 is 2,000. Is resting your hand on my ass worth $2,000? Probably not. A lot of people have done it for free. You're paying for burrata, but you're getting mozzarella, you know? Anyway, I hope he learned his lesson. He probably didn't. What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry? I'll go first.
I have been looking for this sound forever to finally share my truth. So excuse the fact that I look busted right now, but it's time. So when I was in high school, I did running start and also did cheer. And so I had a lot of fees to pay, like a lot. And my parents were always so supportive of me doing it, but they were like, if you're going to do these activities, like you need to put in your own money, which was never a problem with me. So I decided to get a job at Starbucks. But because I had cheer and classes, I literally had like barely any time to work. So I'd have to work really early in the morning. But really early in the morning, we never had as many customers as we did like during rush hour. And so I would work in the window by myself a lot. This lady pulls up and she already just has this really negative energy to her. And I say, "Hi, like, good morning. Like, what can I get started for you?" And she rolls her eyes. And she's like, "I just need my morning coffee." And I'm like, "Okay, like, what exactly is your morning coffee, ma'am?" And she orders a Frappuccino. I'm so sorry if you love Frappuccinos, but if it is 5 o'clock in the morning and you're ordering a Frappuccino and you're a grown-ass woman, I'm gonna judge you because I am a hater before I'm a human. And I'm like, "Can I get anything else for you?" Like in my super annoying customer service voice. And she's like, "No, but can I get a cherry on top of my Frappuccino?" And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "A cherry." And like, I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, we don't have cherries." And she just blows up. And she's like, "I've been to multiple Starbucks and they've always put a cherry on top of my Frappuccino. Like, this has never been an issue." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we don't have them here. Sorry, queen." And she informs me that she will pull up to the window and we can solve the problem up there. And I'm like, "Great, see you at the window." So she just starts going off at the window and is so upset. So I pull over my manager and I'm like, "Hey, this lady would love a cherry on top of her Frappuccino." And my manager is like, we don't have cherries." And I'm like, "Of course we don't, because this isn't fucking Sonic. This is Starbucks." And so then I just try to like continue the conversation and kind of diffuse her anger. And I'm like, "Your total is going to be like $5. Here's your Frappuccino." And I just hand it to her before she pays because I'm just trying to calm her down and give her her morning coffee. And she looks at me and she says, "You're lucky you're semi-pretty because you obviously don't fucking have a brain," and throws the Frappuccino through the fucking window. First off, semi-pretty. Second off, I fucking graduated college 2 years early and am now modeling, bitch, so suck it.
What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry?
All right, so it was a family of 15. All of them came in. I went to go take their drink order. They all shouted different things at me, and I was like, "Okay," and I repeated everything back and was like, "I think I got it all." I get the drinks, I bring them back. I set everything down. The grandma's like, "I didn't get coffee." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, did you order coffee?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay." And so I wrote down coffee in my little notepad. She didn't order it, by the way. Anyways, and then the dad's like, we need to order right now." And I was like, "Okay, did you want me to put the coffee in for your mom or do you want me to take your food order?" He's like, "Take our food order. We're starving." I was like, "Great, got it." So I take their food order, and after I'm done taking their food order, by the way, the grandma was like, "Where's my coffee?" And I was like, "Well, I physically have not left this spot. So I'm taking everyone's food order and then I'm going to put your coffee in. I'm going to go run and get it. And then I'm going to come back, put the food order in." She was like, "Fine." So I finished taking everyone's food order. I go to the computer to put her coffee order in. She stands up, comes to the computer, and is like, "You still have not brought me my coffee." And I was like, "I physically haven't left your table until just now, and I'm putting your coffee in right now." And she was like, "How hard is it to do your job? Did you even graduate from high school? You must be some kind of idiot if you can't actually go get a coffee for someone. Like, I don't know what level of education you've had, but you're a moron." So I was like, "Oh, I don't actually have to serve you. I don't actually have to serve any of you, and I'm not going to be doing that anymore. So you guys can pay for the drinks that you've gotten. I'm not going to put your food order in, and you guys are welcome to leave. I told my management team about it, and they fully backed me up. They're like, nobody should ever speak to anybody else that way. Whatever the situation is, not cool. And so, yeah, they had to leave without getting food, and they had to go to another restaurant. And I could imagine sitting 15 people on a Saturday at another restaurant was probably real tricky. Oh well.
What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry?
Bitch! Let's fucking talk about it. So, as many of you know, I used to work at Starbucks. I was a barista, and I worked at Starbucks for 4 years. I don't think I've ever talked about this on TikTok, but what I'm about to tell you is 100% true. Like, I could not make this shit up even if I wanted to. Anyways, at the one store that I had worked at, we had this one fucking customer. She was this middle-aged woman, would come in all the time. She was a fucking regular, and she fucking hated me! Like, hated me! For no reason, mind you. Like, I was always so nice to her. Like, I never said anything mean to her. Anyway, she used to talk shit about me to my coworkers when I wasn't there. And just, like, say shit as if she fucking knew me. Like, bitch, I don't know you. Like, what are you talking about? Anyways, I didn't mind her talking shit about me until she lied to my manager. And get ready for this. You wanna know what she told my fucking manager? She told my manager that I was putting cleaning products and rat poison in her fucking food. And if you didn't know this, at Starbucks, one of the policies is the customer is always right. So no, I didn't get fired when this happened. However, after she sent in a complaint about me, I literally would have to walk to the back of the store whenever she came in so she would know I wasn't touching any of her food or drinks. Even though my manager literally knew I wasn't poisoning this woman. Like, what the fuck? Who does that? Who says that?
What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry? I'll go.
When this pandemic started, I was working security. Told me while I was at Walmart trying to enforce the mask mandate. This one customer was like, I don't want monkeys blocking my entrance. About 15 minutes later, he comes out with a thing of bananas and throws them at me. Like, here, I know you're going to get hungry soon. I was very furious, but the funny thing was, one customer, he was very upset that he seen that, and he kicked that fool's ass in the parking lot. He asked me to call the police, and I was like, ooh, ooh, ah, ah. And then he got in his car and drove away.
What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry? I'll go first.
Please ignore this hair. I have been looking for this audio clip for fucking ever. Anyway, this was back when I worked in New York at insert name of coffee shop here. And it was our busiest morning rush. It was like a Wednesday morning, I think. About like 8:30. The line is out the fucking door. So this guy's standing in line and we have 2 registers open. Whoever's on the first register, which is where I was at, isn't just ringing out customers. They're getting coffee, they're sometimes putting food in the oven, they're doing other things to help the rest of the baristas. Whoever's on the second register position is only taking orders. That is their planted position. They do not move, they stay right there. So this guy's waiting in line, and I finally finished doing my other tasks. I was grabbing a cup of coffee for the second register, and I put something in the oven, and I have a few seconds, so I called the next person up, and this guy comes up to my register. Points at me and goes, "You made me wait, so you get nothing," and then walks the fuck out. And I just stand there for a second, and I'm like, because in my head I'm thinking, this means that this man, at some point while standing in line, seeing me doing my job, decided that he was going to do this and continue to waste his own damn time just to tell me this. So I just go about the rest of my day. The real disrespectful shit's gonna come in part 2.
What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry?
Okay, this is actually a part 2. If you haven't, go and check out part 1 first. This is the explanation of the next day's events, because it was a 2-day fucking thing. So I'm planted on first register position again. There's someone on second register. They're exclusively taking orders. I'm taking orders and doing other things. So I'm finally ready. Call the next customer up. No one comes to my register. Call again, a little bit louder. Make sure people heard me. It was a little loud in the coffee shop, so I understand. Still no one really comes up to my register, so I look at the next customer in the fucking eyes and realize it's the guy from yesterday. So I call again, staring him in the eyes, and he's averting his eye contact because he doesn't want to look at me. I can help whoever's next. Doesn't walk up, gestures for the woman behind him to go ahead of him. She looks rightfully confused because she's like, what the fuck's going on? Why aren't you going up? Nothing's transpiring. We're very busy. I'm just trying to move the shit along. So I call my shift manager over and tell him what's happening, and so he calls out for the next customer to come up. The guy standing there just shakes his head, will not come up. My shift manager calls again, louder. He says, no, I will wait for the other register, thank you. So I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? This was back when my anxiety and self-image was just in the fucking toilet, so I'm starting to get emotional, but keeping my cool because work. Finally, the lady behind him comes up to my register. I take her order. She's extremely pleasant, very nice lady, normal-ass customer. While I'm taking her order, I overhear this crusty-ass old man at register 2 being disgustingly kind to my other barista. I mean, like, saying thank you after basically every other word, even when it doesn't fit in the fucking sentence, kind of nice. She's very uncomfortable, but is just trying to go along with it. Anyway, long story short to all this goddamn crap, I overhear him saying, I do not want her, pointing at me, to have any interaction or contact with my order. I don't want her touching it. I don't want her getting my drink. So I'm just over here trying to help the customers in front of me, not trying to cry, not sure what's happening, and yeah, it sucks for him anyways because I was on first register, so I was the one who had to put in his double smoked bacon into the oven. I still to this day have no idea why this man thought coming in at the exact same time would be any different than the day before, or why he hated me so much.
What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you?
About 7-8 months ago now, a party of 15 came in to celebrate their grandma's birthday, and a girl I work with told me that they were notorious for going into restaurants and trying to get shit for free after they already racked up a tab, and they definitely tried doing that with me too. They tried getting their food for free. But at the end of everything, when it was said and done, this guy who had been buying his sister shots all night because she had no fucking money, so she didn't eat. She just had the few shots that her brother bought next to her. She was wearing her sunglasses the entire time. She refused to acknowledge me like she was better than me, and he bought her drinks. And he paid in cash, and he said the rest of the cash was for me. It was my tip. After he left the tip on the table, he walked off to go to the bathroom, and his sister, who had no fucking money, grabbed my tip off the table, looked me dead in the fucking eyes after ignoring me the entire fucking duration of their meal, and shoved my tip inside her fucking bra. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I could not believe that she confidently took my money and just shoved it in her bra.
What's the most disrespectful thing that's happened to you in the service industry? I'll go first.
I've been waiting for this one. I worked at this bar in college, very much a bro-y type sports bar, okay? There was a group of probably around 10 to 15 guys that were just standing in the way. Every time I would walk past them, they would kind of crowd me in a circle, like trap me, and then try to get me to dance with them. I kept saying no. They tried to get me to drink with them while I was working. I said no. I said, I'm working. Can you please move out of my way? I was very polite. But this one guy was very persistent and would not stop. I started to get frustrated with him. And in front of all of his friends, when he grabbed me, I said, can you get the fuck off of me? Don't fucking touch me. And all of his friends proceeded to make fun of him. Fast forward, 20 minutes later, I need to carry a tray of about like 16 shots, 2 draft beers. I'm walking past that same group, and this man slaps the tray completely out of my hand, and I am dripping in beer. And all of his friends proceeded to laugh. I cried.